For many years, I learned English from textbooks. I memorized grammar rules, practiced perfect sentences, and studied long lists of vocabulary. In my textbooks, everything looked clear and logical. I believed that if I followed the rules and spoke correctly, people would easily understand me. Then one day, I had the chance to speak with a native English speaker for the first time. I smiled confidently and said, "Good morning, how do you do?" He paused for a moment, looked at me, and replied, I'm good, you?" The conversation continued, but something felt strange. Even though my sentence was grammatically correct, the moment felt a little awkward. That experience taught me an important lesson. There is a big difference between textbook English and real English. Textbook English focuses on correctness, politeness, and complete sentences. Real English focuses on comfort, speed, and natural communication. Native speakers usually don't think about grammar rules when they speak. They simply focus on sharing their ideas. Let's start with something simple: greetings. In many textbooks, you learn formal greetings, such as, "How do you do?" or "How are you this fine morning?" These sentences are grammatically perfect, but in everyday life, native speakers almost never use them. Instead, they say things like, "Hey," "Hi," "What's up?" or "How's it going?" These greetings are short, relaxed, and friendly. If you use very formal greetings, people will understand you, but you might sound a little unnatural. Now let's look at asking for help. Textbooks often teach sentences like, "Could you please assist me with this task?" This sentence is correct, but it sounds very formal. In real conversations, people usually say something simpler like, "Can you help me with this?" or "Hey, can you give me a hand?" Native speakers prefer shorter sentences because they feel faster and more natural. Agreeing with someone is another example. In textbooks, you might learn to say, "Yes, I agree with you." Again, this sentence is correct, but in real conversations, people often say things like, "Exactly," "Yeah," "Totally," or "For sure." These expressions sound more relaxed and show emotion, which is important in real communication. Ending a conversation also looks different in real life. Textbooks may teach sentences like, "It was a pleasure speaking with you." But in daily conversations, people usually say, "All right, see ya, talk to you later," or "I've got to go." Sometimes people even leave in the middle of a sentence. This doesn't mean they are being rude, it's just how natural conversations work. Another thing textbooks don't always prepare you for is incomplete sentences. Native speakers often don't speak in full sentences. For example, instead of saying, "I do not understand what you are saying," they simply say, "I don't get it." "Huh?" or "What do you mean?" Real English is often quick and efficient, especially in casual situations. Vocabulary is also different. Textbooks usually teach longer and more formal words like continue, cancel, or discover. But in real conversations, native speakers often use phrasal verbs instead. For example, instead of saying, "I will continue working," people say, "I'll keep going." Instead of saying, "The meeting was canceled," they say, "They called it off." And instead of saying, "I discovered the truth," they say, "I found out." Phrasal verbs are everywhere in everyday English. Another important thing to remember is that real English changes depending on the situation. When people talk to friends, they speak very casually. At work, they use a more professional tone. With strangers, they sound polite but still natural. Textbooks often teach only one style of English, but real English has many different levels. So here is the truth. Textbook English is very helpful, It teaches grammar and helps you understand the structure of the language. It gives you a strong foundation. But real English helps you connect with people, build relationships, and feel comfortable during conversations. Textbook English is not wrong, it's just incomplete. If you want to sound more natural, start listening carefully to how native speakers actually talk. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, and pay attention to everyday conversations. Learn common phrases and phrasal verbs. And don't be afraid to keep your English simple, because simple English is often the most natural English. Remember, the goal is not to speak perfect English. The goal is to speak English that feels natural and easy.